another exciting video from Gobbler Ridge Farms. And today I'm going to be working on another ram pump design. Previously I did a 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch ram pump, and I was able to get good water flow up to 100 feet and so-so water flow up to 200 feet. I was able to fill up a 5-gallon bucket overnight, so I got at least 5 gallons or more. But I can't get any water flow up to 325 feet, which is where I need it to go. So I have this resource right here, and this is put out by the Clemson Cooperative Extension, and is basically dealing with livestock and forage and ta-da, ram pumps. And this is out on the internet in PDF form, and this has a ton of great information, different designs of some different pumps. It goes through a lot of mathematical equations, just tons of information. It would be a 2-hour video to go through all of this. So one of the things, if you're interested in doing some of these things that I'm doing, check out this publication from Clemson University. Go Tigers. I have a bunch of relatives that went to Clemson, so they'll get me for that. But I want to kind of refer over here to page 5 on this. And since I'm not getting enough water flow with the 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch ram pump, there's a paragraph here that says if more flow is desired, well, yeah, either a larger hydraulic ram may be used, or another hydraulic ram may be installed with a separate drive pipe and then plumbed into the same delivery pipe to the water trough, as long as there is sufficient water flow in the water source to supply this demand. I think I have enough demand to put in a second one, but I didn't want to go and build a second ram pump and then try to merge it and plumb it into my delivery pipe. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to take and build up the input side of my ram pump to 3/4 inch, and I went and got some more parts after work today. Went over to Gilroy's, that is pretty close to work. Hey, thanks to Tyler for helping me go through and find all these parts. We had to use some galvanized, some brass. We did some PVC, and we even had some stuff that came off the irrigation, some of this gray PVC-ish looking type stuff. I don't know if that's Schedule 80 or what it's made out of, but thanks, Tyler, for sticking with me and helping me piece all of this together. So, but anyway, they say Gilroy's got it. Well, they did. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do like I did in the last video. I'm going to put the Teflon tape in between each one of these little unions here, and each one of these little nipples, and go ahead and get that ready. And then I'm going to go down to the creek and try to merge this with the 1/2 inch output side that I already have on the 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch pump, and see if that will give me a water delivery up to 325 feet with somewhere in the neighborhood of 25 feet or so of elevation gain. So let me put this together. Stick with me, and we'll do experiment number 2, 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch, and see what happens. gonna be in my video?
Yeah.
Of course, man, that sun is bright. We're walking into the sunset. All right, we've got the ramp up parts and the air chamber all put together. So we are going down and see if we can splice it in to the 1/2-inch pump I already have down here, and so we can come up and get some water in this barrel, because the 1/2-inch to 1/2-inch has no output at 325 feet. So, all right. I hope this works, because this hill is pretty tall, actually. All right, follow my secret path.
Wait, we're going down the hill?
Well, that's where the water flows to. That's where the creek is.
Why didn't we just use the other secret path?
The other secret path?
Yeah.
Because if we went down the other secret path, we would have to walk all the way along the creek, and then we'd have to walk all the way back up. This secret path, wait till you see it. You don't know about it because it's a secret.
Uh-huh.
If everybody knew about it, it wouldn't be a secret. Uh-oh, all my subscribers are going to see this and figure it out. There's the bucket we filled up with the 1/2-inch to 1/2-inch. That's as far as we could make it. So, and go down to the bottom of that terrace. I don't know if we can tell how steep this is. Maybe if you slid down and busted your butt, you'd find out. But I've got about 4 or 5 of these terraces I've got to come up. So that's about 4 foot of elevation gain. So that's like 20 feet plus the rise in the land normally going down the hill, plus coming up out of the creek bank. So that's probably a little more than the 1/2-inch to 1/2-inch could do. But all right, we're gonna make our way on down here and see if we can splice this in, and maybe we'll get some success here in a little bit. Jacob, this is the super secret path that you have never been down, and you are in front of me and I'm following you. How in the world are you not getting us lost?
I'm following the hose.
You're what?
I'm following this hose.
Oh, you're following the hose. Well, you're smarter than the average bear then, aren't you? I guess if you follow the hose all the way down to the creek, you'll know where the super secret path winds up. Okay. Can't fool this little guy. All right. Let me turn this off so we can get down this bank before I don't slip and fall and get that on film. But you can, I don't know if you can see down there.
Is this the first time you filmed
So
down here?
I've got a lot of elevation to gain. Wow. And there's another hill going up that way. At least mine's gradual. Now do you see why I told you to put on your water shoes? Because I knew a young man like you would be in the creek in about 2 seconds. Of course, so was I. So I guess we're all big kids at heart. Okay, the 1/2-inch pump is still pumping, but it's just not going anywhere. And I do have a cutoff valve, but I'm going to have to take out where I reduce this from 3/4 down to 1/2-inch. So I better go take the supply pipe out up at the source before I start doing this and getting myself teetotally wet. I'll be right back in un momento, por favor. I love the portability of these Ryobi tools. Woohoo! But I didn't bring the pipe cement. Oh my gosh, we gotta go back up the hill. No, I need the pipe cement. Doodly squat. Thought I had everything. Ah. One thing about a ramp pump, they always pump uphill. It's a great way to get in shape. All right, Jacob, let me forget the glue. What? Yeah, you were supposed to remind me about the glue. Yeah, that's exactly what.
I did not know anything about this book.
Hold that up and let that dry. All right, turn around so they can see on the camera that you're actually working. So you're blocking the view. Just step over this way. Proof that he did work. Take that, Grandmama. All right, put this union together down here. Now you have to hold up the whole thing. You're along for the muscle. I brought you along for muscles. All right, go get the tube.
Oh, yeah, that big thing.
The one you brought down here. That's the key right there.
It's what is it, like the key to a car?
Just don't drag the threads in the dirt. Okay, I'll wipe them off. New experiment. Will it work if you get dirt in your thread pipe? All right, get down the creek for a minute. Let me get in there. All right. All right, I think we successfully, after going back up the hill to get the glue, we have successfully spliced in the 3/4 into the 1/2-inch output. So we now have 3/4 input, 1/2-inch output. Hopefully that creates enough pressure to give us another 125 feet and 2 terraces and a half of elevation gain. All right, I'm gonna go put the supply pipe back in the water and see if this worked. Okay, it looks like it's working, but the cycle is kind of slow. I went and checked. I don't have any blockages upstream. Checked the fittings, made sure they were kind of tight. I closed off the output to see if it would build up a little more pressure. So, not sure if it's a stream flow problem, if I'm getting enough head pressure on this thing. Only other thing to do right now, let it run for a while, see if it builds up any more pressure and in the tube. And see if we get a little bit of water. Could also be that it's trying to pump way uphill. It's got a lot of back pressure on it, but even when I shut the valve off on the output side, it still never picked up any speed. Ideally 45 to 60 revolutions per minute, and that's about every 3 seconds. That's down around 20. 1001, 1002, 1003, about 2.5, 3 seconds. That's about 20 to 25 maybe. A little less than I want, so I better go back and do some research. unless this works. You know, go up there and see if we get any water in the barrel, Jacob? Or do you just want to sit down by the creek and fish? Oh, you're not fishing?
No, I don't like fishing.
So then it would be pointless for me to ask if you caught anything.
Yeah, and also fishing is boring.
Oh, this is boring.
Fishing is
Oh,
boring.
fishing is boring. Yeah, it's not nearly as good as hunting, right?
No, hunting's still boring.
Hunting's boring. What's not boring? Watching YouTube videos?
Oh, videos.
Oh, that's a good commercial for YouTube. All right, let's go up and see if we got any water flowing out of this thing. I don't know what else to do at the moment. All right, peace out. You got your foot stuck?
Yeah.
That's the hazards of putting in a ram pump. Which, by the way, we stayed down here and played a little bit. 1001, 1002, 1000. Yeah, maybe up to 30 times a minute. I don't know. Let it run overnight. See if that's sufficient to push it up to the barrel, and if not, I'm going to go do some more research. I should make you do the research. You're the scientist. The other one was running more cycles per minute, but this one has more a bigger pipe on the input side. So I have no idea. All I know is I still got to get up these last couple hills. Go ahead and get that bucket of water in case we have to prime it when we get up there, because I'm not coming back down this hill. Whew. At least we got water that far, right? All you have to do is come down with a milk jug every day as part of your chores and carry water back up to the homestead 1 gallon at the time. What would that kid do without the internet? Well, that didn't last but a couple of drips. I left the pump running all night and no water whatsoever. So, back to the drawing board. Okay, we had a little spurt last night and I thought we were in good shape, but that was all we had. I'll let this pump cycle in that slow rhythm, about 25 beats a minute, and didn't get a drop of water up to the barrel. I went back and researched and tried to find, some troubleshooting stuff out on the internet, and either video or text documents and things like that. I couldn't really find anything for that specific problem. Most of the troubleshooting stuff was about, how to get it started. I can't get it started, and that type of a thing. So, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I woke up thinking about ram pumps. I believe I'm being possessed by ram pumps. So, I got my thought is that because I have a bigger valve now, going to 3/4 versus a 1/2 inch, that it's going to take a little more water to close that flapper valve quickly, and that previously I was using a 3/4 inch pipe to supply a 1/2 inch ram pump, and now I'm going 3/4 to 3/4. So today I went back to Gilroy's and got 4 sticks of the 1 inch PVC, and so I'm going to swap out my 40-foot pipe of 3/4 inch PVC and go to 1 inch PVC, thinking that the extra volume trying to neck down into the 3/4 should give me more head pressure and maybe cycle the ram pump a little quicker. If that doesn't work, I went back to that Clemson PDF that I had, and with a 1 inch pipe, I believe I can go as short as 13 feet and as long as 82 feet. So I'm running 40 feet, so I can go further and maybe get a little more rise. And think of it as going down to the ocean. What gives you all that pressure, makes you have to blow your nose to equalize your ears, or wear scuba tanks if you go deeper, is the weight of the water pressing down. So the deeper you go into the ocean, the heavier the water is pressing on it. So by going with a longer pipe, I should, in theory, have more water, which is going to be heavier, pushing into my intake there on the ram pump, and maybe that would work. I don't want to do that right off the bat because, as you've seen in the earlier parts of this video and in my previous video, my pressure chamber is right in the notch of a tree in the creek, and at 40 feet I've got the perfect pool where a rock comes up here and I got good rock here, and I can back that up without having a lot of erosion or putting in mud or cement. It's just a good natural spot. So I've got exactly 40 feet, which is 4 10-foot pieces of PVC. I've got the perfect pool and place to put the ram pump. So I want to go ahead and try the larger diameter. Then if that doesn't work, well, I now have 80 feet of pipe, 40 feet of the 1 inch and 40 feet of the 3/4 inch. So I can back that on up and find another pool, hopefully somewhere in that 40-foot range, and try that. The other thing that I kind of thought of is that the flapper valve, gravity's trying to push that straight up and down, and I believe, and this is by memory, I may have seen some people kind of adjust the flow, or if you lean the waste valve to the left or right just a little bit, it'll still work, but it's just not as efficient or what have you. And so my thought is, it's like picking up the bumper of a car. You try to pick the car straight up, it's going to be hard. Trying to push that flapper valve up may be hard. You push a car level down the road, it's going to take a second to get it going, but you can push that car. And so maybe by putting the flapper valve to the side, the water's going to push it sideways as opposed to straight up. Might lose some efficiency doing that, and I may not get it all the way to the top of the hill, so that's somewhat of a last resort, but something else I can play with. So I think the easiest thing to do, and what's most preferable to me as a solution to this, is to go ahead and swap out my 3/4 drive pipe with a 1 inch and see what that does. So I'm going to pause the video right here, because I know you don't want to watch me glue any more PVC, and when I get that done, we'll resume and we'll find out together if that was a potential solution and if that worked. It hopefully should in theory, but the things I think about at 2 in the morning. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that enough. Good flow. The inclination was to put my knee down, but I don't want to take a bath just yet. All right, let's see what we get here. Well, it doesn't seem to be flowing any faster. Let me go check I had to scoot this back a little bit. Let me go check my dam. Wasn't sure if I heard a little air being sucked up in there. That's not good, so let me check that and rule that out as the culprit. All right, I don't know if you can see that in the background, but it seems to be flowing a little bit better. I did have a vortex, and that's one of the things where your supply pipe goes into your water source. You want to make sure it's far enough under the water. Otherwise what happens is as it sucks that water down, it's like in your bathtub when you start seeing that swirl. What it does, it sucks air into your pipe and it won't work all that good. So I just went up there and put it a little bit further under the water as far as I can, because my base where it's hitting is all rock. So I'm trying to do this without making a Army Corps of Engineers dam down there. But 1001, that is definitely faster than the 2.5 to 3 seconds I was getting yesterday. So I'm gonna pull out the stopwatch and check see how many it does in a minute. And I'll be back in exactly 60 seconds. See? I told you I'd be back in just 1 minute. And that was 30 cycles. Still not quite as fast as I want it to be, but it's better than the 20 to 25 that I was getting yesterday. And some of those were running about, I didn't do a full minute, but about 3 seconds, maybe 2.5, but closer to 3. So figure that was 20 cycles. So I've gone up 10 cycles. So I'm gonna see if this will work, and if it doesn't, then tomorrow we're gonna take our supply pipe and go back up even further. So we'll know tomorrow. I'll be back in exactly 24 hours, maybe at 22.5 hours. All right, peace out. My grandson would say something like that and be cool. I'm too old to be cool. Okay, I couldn't stand it. Couldn't wait till tomorrow. And I went ahead and connected back the 3/4 hose, went back up to the 40-foot mark and connected the 1-inch, or I mean not hose, but 1-inch PVC. And so I now have 80 feet, trying to get a few more feet of fall and a little more water pressure in the pipe to try to run this valve. And I've gone from 33 clicks a minute, I'm down to like 20. So I'm actually worse than I was yesterday. And after I turned the camera off, I tinkered just a hair, and I had it going at 33 clicks a minute. And this last round I checked, I was at 20. So all the stuff I was thinking about at 2 o'clock in the morning does not seem to be my answer. So I'm going to have to ponder this some more. Worst case scenario, I'll go back to the 1-inch pipe at 40 feet and see what that does. It's going to be hard to do it in any other than 40-foot increments because I've got all the unions glued. Maybe I should have put some screw-in unions to play around with this. A little more expensive, but I believe it might be worth it. Anyhow, I'll go up and see if I'm getting any water at all anywhere along the line, but that is very slow. Got the camera back in case it spews. This is the 200-foot mark. That bucket is where I was at. I went down the creek and rerouted this a little bit, so I gained a little bit. I got water dripping out right here. I'm not going to take this off. Instead, I'm going to hope that might be a good sign. And I'll go to the 300-foot mark. Maybe I surprised myself. Okay. I've been trying to chase 45 to 60 clacks a minute, beats a minute, whatever you want to call it. But I was watching my valve shut. I mean, it was slamming pretty good. And I could see the line jumping all the way back up the creek on the supply side. So I went and put some rocks on that, and I got a lot of the vibration really calmed down. You know, perhaps a galvanized pipe might be the answer to that. But I was kind of chasing that, 60 beats a minute, if you will, and maybe I didn't need to. Don't understand all that. Let me loosen this up and take you in a little closer. But there we go. I got the camera on a tripod, so with that white background of the barrel, I didn't know if you could see that or not, but definitely you can see that. Okay. And that's been continuous. I might have this thing working. The only thing is, I don't really know why. This might be worth some good comments from you folks who have done a lot with the ram pump can help us out. I thought I was trying to help folks out with an experiment, but at least now we see that a 3/4 to 1/2 inch ram pump can pump 315 feet. I swapped hoses there, so I lost 10 feet. But I'm going 315 feet of hose, and I'm coming up 8-foot bank, 4 or 5 5-foot terraces, another gain in elevation, and the height of this barrel. I mean, I'm coming up a good 32 feet thereabouts with all the elevation gain, and it's working. I'm gonna let that run all night and see how long it takes to fill up this 55-gallon barrel. Because all I need is 3/4 to a gallon per tree. I was doing 4 or 5-gallon buckets, so I was kind of watering last year with around 20-25 gallons. So 55 gallons would give me a couple of days. All right, we'll come back and check on this later, but wow. Now I'm happy. I was shaking my head down at the creek. I can't believe this. I got to go get Miss Gobbler Ridge and show her this. Okay, I was going to do a time test with this 1/2 gallon and see how long it took to fill up the 1/2 gallon with my stopwatch. And I leaned on the barrel and it stopped going for a minute. So this thing is, might be a little persnickety. So I'm going to take my stopwatch here in this 1/2 gallon jug, and I'm going to let it run for a couple minutes and see how much I get. Don't want to bore you guys watching water trickle. It's like watching grass grow. So let me run this for a couple minutes and we'll see how much we get in there. Okay, I'm at the 2-minute mark. Okay, 2 minutes, 0 seconds, and 47 1/1000ths. My grandson sometimes can be very particular. And so I've got right there, maybe 1/4 of a gallon, a little bit less than that, maybe 1/5 of a gallon in 2 minutes. So by my math, 1/5 of a gallon in 2 minutes is 1 gallon every 10 minutes, 6 gallons an hour. That would be 72 gallons in a 12. Oh wow, I should fill this 55-gallon barrel up by the time I get home from work and have water to spare. All right, and that can only use about 30 gallons per watering session on the trees. Wow, I don't know why this is working as good as it is, but I guess that's giving me what I want. I don't understand it exactly, but that's okay as long as it works. So I hope you learned something, because I didn't. But I'll keep playing around with this kind of stuff and sharing it with you. And anyway, once again, shout out to Tyler at Gilroy's. He helped me again today get pipe and fittings and stuff to try to ramp this thing up to a 1-inch intake. So thanks again. And anyway, I do know I can pump 315 feet up about a 32 to 35 feet elevation with a 3/4 to 1/2 inch ram pump. So it's not a very big ram pump. So anyway, I'm gonna call this one good. And I'll see all you turkeys on the next video. Oh my goodness. I turned this on at 8 o'clock last night. It's 6 o'clock, so that's 10 hours. I've almost filled up a 55-gallon barrel. So about 50 gallons in 10 hours. 5 gallons an hour by my math. Awesome.